Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst. I'm Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80, brought to you by Generals Joe's REBORN.com. Hope everyone is having a good Tuesday night. Got a few little stories tonight for you, including a bit of a listings update. We have kind of got a bit more information on those leaked listings and thought we would kind of drop it's only a little bit of info. So just a little bit of an update, nothing crazy, no massive character reveals or anything like that. But we do have a little bit of an update to kind of go through with you guys tonight. On top of that, we'll be talking about those in-hand Metalhead images. And of course, the fact that Walmart Collecticon have revealed their dates for Walmart Collecticon. Walmart have revealed their dates for Collecticon with a little one of those preview the week prior to it all dropping. So we're going to see what what could we see for Walmart Collecticon. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well. So yeah, we'll be strap in. Kitty said we're going to be talking quite a lot today about a lot of classified updates. So should we begin? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Pow! Yes, and also massive shout out to everyone in the chat already. Loads of you watching already on this fine Tuesday evening, or depending on where you are. It could be the morning, the afternoon. It could be February. Still, it is February here actually, so that would be likely. Hello, Joe. Hello, Yorktown. Hello, Tristan. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Bobby Eldridge. Hello, Slave. Hello, 77T John. Hello, Ed. Hello, McMurphy, FC Viper, etc., etc. Hope everyone is having a great evening. I did yesterday. I would have talked about the Metalhead list, the images yesterday, but I decided to do a kind of a Patreon thing instead. So we did a Patreon thing. So all our patrons got a nice little episode last night, and I thought, yeah, I might as well just wrap it all together and talk about everything that we've seen over the last couple of whenever's. Right. Been a couple of days and we're already ramping up to that event on Thursday, which I'm very excited for. It's going to be one of those days. I think it's just going to be one of those ridiculous insanity days that just doesn't stop. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're all excited about. And then before that is even here, Walmart go and reveal that they're doing a thing as well. So anyway, let's start with the listings. Bosh, there you go. Oh, nice little transition there. That was unplanned, to be perfectly honest. That's just how it happened. Yeah. So first of all, what can we tell you? You might notice if you've been watching our updates on these listings that nothing has actually changed, and that's because what I've got to tell you, I couldn't fit it on the thing anyway. So, like, here we go. Here's the information. So, over the years of getting classified listings, certain designations, certain like uses of letters correspond to something else. We all know this for the most part. We don't necessarily know the ins and outs of it, but we do know we see the patterns. For a while, we had like ADV, I think was one that meant something. I think it ended up being fan channel in the end, didn't it? Or the fanmason thing. We had loads, and I can't think of any off the top of my head now. Oh, that's going to bug me. What were the target ones, like the Tiger Force ones? I've completely forgotten now. Anyway, it's not important. Anyway, we get random designations, don't we? And in the leaked listings, the most recent ones for 2024, not the most recent ones for 2025, they're changing up. We've got different ones for them. But now that we basically worked out meant mystery machine because of what it related to. Shug it, scoob it, scrap it, etc., etc. Daphne as well. So all of those designations actually do mean something as well as meaning something. Yes, we've been able to ascertain a little bit more information that the designation, the one that you see there for Shaggy at the top, the SMS and Techno Viper, for Scooby VEH, which is the Cobra Ferret and Ferret Scout, for Scrappy, which we still don't know yet, and for Daphne Deluxe, which we know is going to be Starduster. We are now we've got the information now that designation means Pulse exclusive, right? Now, there is also a hint that because that means Pulse exclusive, that the Daphne Deluxe Starduster could possibly be, I'm saying because we haven't got confirmation of this, a Pulse Con exclusive. But again, we don't know the ins and outs, so that's really just speculative and a bit of guesswork, honestly, at this point. So yeah, so basically Shaggy VH, Scooby, Scrappy, Daphne. As far as we are aware and concerned, and have basically confirmed, all but being told directly, is Pulse exclusive. So the SMS Techno Viper very likely going to be a Pulse exclusive, and if it that does end up happening, then the pattern will start emerging very clearly, won't it? And again, like Scooby VH, the Cobra Ferret, and it makes sense. The SMS, the Ferret, I don't know what Scrappy is. Starduster feels like he's going to be a lot. There's going to be more to him, slightly more. I mean, it's a deluxe, it's a DLX anyway, isn't it? So you get the feeling that those, it makes sense that they're going to be Pulse exclusives. Do you know what I mean? Just for the maybe the fact they're vehicles or towables, or what else have we got in there? Whatever Starduster comes with. So like that kind of thing, right? Starduster as a PulseCon exclusive seems an odd step compared to past exclusives, says Scott. Possibly, but I mean, they seem to make the stuff up as they go along anyway. Like, it's not like not in a bad, I don't mean that in a bad way, but like I feel like they're just going to put in stuff where they want to put it, Kitty said. Odd that Fred DLX isn't an then maybe an SDCC. Well, Fred Deluxe would just be a figure deluxe. It wouldn't be means effectively as we've kind of ascertained, means mystery machine, and I think it means kind of like a connection to vehicles, towables. That's more bigger things. The fact like Fred Deluxe not being an just means it won't be a vehicle based thing. It'll just be a figure with a lot of gear. Fred DLX basically. If you follow the patterns, Fred DLX is just the same as Atlas DLX, which is Nemesis Immortal, or who else have we got on there as a deluxe? Frankenstone, which is Raptor. So it's just effectively a figure with a lot of gear at the end of the day. What else are we saying in the comments? Sorry, I've missed a lot. My apologies. But in any case, we know a little bit more, and it starts to kind of unravel these listings. Not unravel, kind of more clear them up a little bit. Kind of makes it a little bit easier to kind of work out what certain things are, what certain things aren't as well. Just as we just went through that whole conversation with Fred DLX right there. The Walmart exclusive prefix was Wes and Target was THS. That was correct, Ryan. Thank you very much for reminding me. Was it THS? I think you're right. God, it's been so long. I'm just going to look at one of the old listings because that would clear things up, and then I wouldn't like. I think you're right though. That does ring a bell. It's crazy. That's already gone out of my mind, isn't it? I mean, how long were we looking at those listings before? Yeah, you're right. THS was the Target exclusive designation, and WES was the Walmart designation for those particular exclusives. We now know that HB is Target and Walmart. I had said previously, I think on one of these episodes, in actual fact, one of these listing updates, that HB, as far as we could tell, was exclusive in general, but that is looking less and less likely now that means Pulse exclusive. It looks likely that obviously we know that HB is effectively Target and Walmart now. I don't think it means anything else. Yes, and that's pretty much it, I think, in terms of the update for today. So we can, even though, like, if you look at the listings, even though Scrappy doesn't have like an extra, doesn't have the VH, doesn't have, DLX or anything. I wonder if that might just be that the listing we have didn't, it missed it out, and it would be a vehicle. And I'm just assuming that Scrappy is the same as Scooby VH, Shaggy VH, Shugget, Daphne Deluxe sort of thing. So it might be as Lux, might be a VH, who knows? But effectively, Pulse exclusive, and that's all we know. FU Amazon exclusives. Well, Scott, they are slightly different now. They effectively do Fanmazon now, don't they? Which is like Amazon and Fan Channel. and that's a different designation entirely. That is a different designation entirely, is all I'll say on that one. You might be able to work it out. If you look at the listings, one of them does not go with the rest. So maybe you can work that one out without me saying it outright. Yeah. Anyway, Pat hasn't been around for a bit. I fear he's buried in a freighter. Well past the pierogi. We're definitely aiming to do Friday and bring Pat back from the freighter. Has anyone gotten their Walmart retro classified Zartan and Storm Shadow? I mean, yeah, ages ago, but that was a long time ago, Jedi Ben. Have you still not got yours? Maybe it was on like one of those ones where they're like, "Oh, we get on the second way round" sort of job, and it just never happens. Eels was Amazon, wasn't it, Tristan? You're right, yes. But that had been on the line plan for a long time, may I add, and we knew that was Amazon. Same with something else as well. But yeah, that had been on the line plan for ages. So maybe it was just a hangover from that and already been organized and set up, and Amazon had already, got there. So basically you're looking at like a delay thing going there. So you see it, you see that figure come out, but it was already planned prior to that, way in advance. And obviously they'd been like working out, well, they probably would have sat down with Amazon and had meetings and stuff and gone, so yeah, what do you here are the options, or this is what you're getting for your Amazon, your exclusive. Do you want it? And they'll be like, yeah, go on then. And then it's away. That's exactly what happened. Storm Shadow was an eBay exclusive in my neck of the woods. I didn't see any. Zartan the same. I don't think I saw any Crimson Guards or Snake Eyes either. It was kind of like the forgotten line, wasn't it? Just disintegrated into nothing. And now it's obviously back once again for the Renegade Master. They should designate FU for Walmart exclusive, says Chaz. That's hilarious, and I'm into that. That's fun. Like the periodic table. I know what you're getting at, by the way. It's brilliant. Great to hear. Just in time for a Raptor revival too. Absolutely, pass. The pre-orders never shipped. You had to order them when they came in stock. Oh, right. That makes a lot of sense. It was one of those jobs, wasn't it? I really hate that. We have a bunch of Crimson Guards peg warming. Interesting. Anything past GIJ, CS, MM, THS, HB, BB means exclusive. Anything past GIJ, CS, MM, THS, HB, BB means exclusive. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but let me think there about that quickly. Retro isn't exclusive. 60th isn't exclusive. And so everything else like MM, TNS, etc., etc. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, sorry, I just had to get my head around that comment before I just agreed with it, Kevin. But yeah, that's basically the case. Yeah. All right, cool. Right, so that is pretty much the update for the leaked listings. MM means Pulse exclusive, basically. And like I said, it might be that Starduster is a PulseCon exclusive. We just don't know yet. In any case, keep that to yourselves. Keep that going in your brain until next time, until we have the next updates, which will probably be following Thursday. In fact, it might be when I do the reaction later that day. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it immediately. I think that's going to have to be like 1 PM, I'm afraid, guys. So you'll just have to wait for our reactions later on. So that's that, and then we can move on a little bit now, can't we? So let's talk about AFB Eddie's very own in-hand Metalhead, which I believe he's in Canada. And this was from EB. And if the information I had on Twitter was correct, I say Twitter, it was X, isn't it now, which is gross. So yeah, he is in, where was it, Victoria, and it was from EB Games. And it was just the website, and it was in stock, and it just arrived. So that's nice. So that's in Canada. again, it's every now and again Canada do get one ahead, don't they? I am right with that, aren't I? EB is Canada. I'm sure it is. I'm sure EB Games is like the GameStop of Canada. I could be completely wrong, and I've got that completely twisted. But anyway, um, that yeah, so brilliant in hand Metalhead, and then a few very lovely pictures came out as well. And it's not. I mean, we saw the actual in hand figures in when was it? MCM London. I want to say, cast your mind back a million years ago. So you know, we you know, other than obviously Eddie getting his in his own like cheeky mitts and having fun with them and enjoying them. You know, it's no different than what we've been seeing previously in terms of images and stuff. But he did give us this beauty, Bosh, phenomenal. So obviously taking the hairpiece off, that's what he looks like. He kind of looks a little bit like Max and Paddy from Phoenix Knights. It would have to be Max from Phoenix Knights. Max and Paddy were the you won't, if you're not from the UK, you won't understand what the hell I'm talking about. Phoenix Knights was a hilarious comedy. Peter Kay and basically running it with a load of other kind of, you know, major UK comedians and stuff. But he wrote this series called Phoenix Knights about this like working person's club in like the north. I think it was in Bolton, and they had two what they call not bodyguards, bouncers on the door, and called Max and Paddy, who had a spin-off show afterwards. Actually, I don't know why I'm going down this rabbit hole on this. It's hilarious. I'm going on this tangent. And yeah, and that right there looks like Max from Max and Paddy. Just Google it. And it's hilarious. Oh my god, that show is so good. Anyway, by the by, I love this image. Just love this shot. We also got an action shot holding all the gear. I'm excited for this figure. I'm not going to lie. I think he's a really cool update to the original design. I love the fact that you've got the kind of new helmet as well, which is pretty Baracus. I'm badass, is what I was trying to say. And also, like, I love the hair pieces, one with the goggles, one without. So lots of different options for this one. Ming the Merciless, says Rachel. Yeah. Well, Kevin said the Flash Gordon bad guy. That's, yeah, absolutely. Ming the Merciless. Thank you, Rachel. Joe says, got to go and pick up my wife from work and get dinner. Dang, mission is set and a go. Have a great night, everyone. Have a good one, Joe. Enjoy that. Sorry you can't stay and play with us, Kitty said. I like it. Can't wait to get it in hand, says Derek. Yes, same. Paul, hey, Chris and Cheesebags. Late to the stream, but let's talk Cobra. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you missed a little bit, Paul. Not going to lie. It's not like a great bit of information, but you'll have to watch it from the beginning anyway. But not about Metalhead, but about the listings. Anywho, Metalhead looks great. Love all the extra bits and bobs he comes with. And those images, like I said, you can go check them out a little bit, you know, more, you know, zoom in on them if you want on our Facebook page, Twitter, and of course, AFB Eddie, who posted them in the first place. Link in the description to his Twitter. So you can go and just check those images out right from the horse's mouth, right? So I'm not calling you a horse, Ed. That's really harsh. Anywho, so I'm just also multitasking because things happen when I'm on stream. Always something will come up and it'll be like, oh, there's something else I could have added to this ridiculous you know, update. Why am I seeing anyway, that's irrelevant. Metalhead, done, dusted, covered in mustard. Next up, let's talk a little bit about Walmart. Yes, Collecticon is coming. We get well, hang on. I wonder if sneak peek is a hint as to what we're going to see. Do you think? Have I just completely missed that originally? Is classified sneak peek Night Force confirmed here, guys? That's hilarious if it is. Anyway, their sneak peek begins. Imagine when they actually have to do sneak peek. They're going to have to use a different term, and then we'll know. Then we'll know we're getting sneak peek because they can't use the term sneak peek begins, can they? Exactly. They couldn't really have said broil begins or Lightfoot begins, could they? Anyway, let's get into this. So we get a sneak peek on the 7th of March, which is only like a week and a bit away. Not very far at all, is it? So we're going to be seeing what the next Night Force exclusive Walmart kind of thing is for G.I. Joe Classified on the 7th, which is great. And then the exclusive drops are the 14th and the 15th. Don't know which is going to be for Classified yet. And we probably won't know until a bit closer anyway. But Chris, you probably know, but I've heard Walmart CollectorCon exclusives will be those leaked Marauders. Thoughts? They're not. that they're not, because they're not the theme, nor are they. Well, there's the reason I know that is because I know there's other things coming for Walmart exclusives, and they're not Marauders. See Jeremy Kimberlin's comment on YouTube. That is probably the situation, honestly. They're more than likely like a fan channel sort of vibe. I mean, if you go back to the listings and listen to what I said before, hint hint, yada yada yada, that might give it away a little bit. But no, that it's not those, or at least that has to, like, from an educated guess kind of no, it's not those. Why am I even? No, it's not. It's going to be Night Force related. Okay. I mean, what we saw leaked with the Marauders, I think, is a little bit advanced in terms of what we're seeing at the moment. Like, we're probably not going to see those guys again for quite some time. I can sort of see why people might have jumped to that conclusion a little bit, but it's not coming from anywhere. It's not coming from anywhere of like it's going to be coming from speculative kind of just that goes in there sort of thing. But yeah, they're not technically, well, they're not Walmart exclusives. So I very much doubt that we'll see them for CollectorCon. Just going to throw that one out there for everybody. Yeah, come on, Chris, almost there. Leak something. That's hilarious. Let's talk about, though, what we could possibly be seeing, because, and I can only really talk about this from the Night Force perspective, because they throw in anybody from the Cobra forces into this. So it's like I kind of just wanted to look at some of the OGs really more than anything, and just talk through some of those as options. So if you look at the 88 lineup, we have left Falcon, Outback, Psych Out, and Sneak Peek. And again, I completely didn't even realize it said Sneak Peek on that Walmart thing. Night Viper does make sense, Jeremy, but they put Alley Viper in there. We've had a Mole Rat. It's Crimson things. I mean, none of it makes any sense necessarily. And I think that for the Cobra side, Night Viper would be amazing. It would make a lot of sense and it'd be really cool. But like I said, it's anybody's guess what they're going to throw in there, honestly. Nightclub Force, we could be talking about a little bit later on, Scott. Yeah, absolutely. Nightclub Force chuckles since Ryan isn't here. Brilliant. If we ever get Sneak Peek, he should be updated for Classified by having him being a drone operator and have his old look with that huge telescope thingy for a retro card figure. I like that, Wilfredo. I think that is an absolutely solid idea, honestly. It would be an opportunity to also sneak in a new Joe to the squad, Loston. Absolutely. Well, I mean, they have done a ton of times in this line. We've seen, I mean, Shooter's not new necessarily, but she's certainly an underused character. But Wolf Spider, they threw that one. They threw that bad boy in there, didn't they? Mole Rat is a brand new character. So they've definitely gone against they've done a lot of new. I mean, Shadow Tracker as well, that was kind of like a freshie. Not really. I know we've had Shadow Tracker before, but again, in the similar way that Shooter, that we've had Shooter. But yeah, we've had Mole Rat, that was brand new. We've had Wolf Spider, that was brand new. It wouldn't surprise me if something brand new popped in again, because it feels like this is what they're doing with the Walmart Night Force line. They're adding a lot of their own sort of things in there. There's another one I just forgot, but that was Tiger Force Python Patrol, wasn't it? And it was Vipra. I was thinking of there. Sorry, I just that just jumped into my head, but that was Target. Anywho, and also not new really, just a what's the word? Like a an old name on a new concept, I guess, is what you'd say. Um, uh, I agree with you, Loston. I think it's very, I think it's almost very highly likely we might see more new stuff coming as well. I agree with you. I do. Um, we'll get onto that in a second, Evan. We're on 88 at the moment. So yeah, let's talk through these first. So obviously, sneak peek and psych out would be the pre-paints as they're called or known, and excuse me. And I think there's a possibility we could get one of the freshies, like an absolute, like a basically not a repaint or a rejig, because that's got to happen for Falcon. If we get a Night Force Falcon, if we don't get a new head or a new head sculpt, minimum, I riots. Internet riots is what it's going to be. Online riots, comments getting looted, like fake Molotov cocktails, just people drinking cocktails but getting angry about it. That would be as far as it went, I think, in terms of it. Um, yeah, like I would be so annoyed. Um, Tristan, let's get a Night Force. Paul's name from hat. Glenda. That actually would be dope. Night Force Glenda is effectively Quarrel. That's what I'm sticking with. You messed up when Chris riots. Yeah, big time. Night Force Action Man. Oh, that would be so good. That would be so good. I'd be there all day for that. Um, Serious time. I think it's Night Force Falcon with new head. Lenny at SDCC was so disappointed with the Falcon. Oh, interesting, Evan. Thank you. I mean, we'll most likely get a Hasbro t-shirt. Falcon needs head. I like it, Luston. I like it. Anyway, yeah, I think if we're talking Night Force Falcon, if there isn't a minimum new head sculpt, then I genuinely can't see myself getting it. He says, clearly lying, because he will get it. Of course, I will at some point. Now, Outback is a nice shout as well. I think personally, because I love this figure. He's brilliant. I'll have him in every flavor going. Obviously, we have Tiger Force. We have the standard. Night Force would not complete it. Yeah, it would complete it. I don't think he's done any others other than obviously his Battle Core version. But that's not a repaint. I'm talking about that kind of t-shirt version. Yeah, I think that's it. Tiger Force, Night Force, regular, and I'd be all over that 100%. Maybe you could do Outback though with something, not necessarily like a. But again, I say that, but it is Walmart, and they usually just do like 3 figures or whatever, don't they? I'm not sure about you guys. I don't know what to expect with this one now, since there's a lot of things have changed. We've had, in some cases, we've had like weird change ups with how many figures are in a wave. We seem to be back to we seem to be back to. What was it we're back to now? Was it 4? And I was expecting something else, or was it? I can't remember what I'm thinking of now. We some weird stuff has happened. Yeah, it's the 4 per wave thing, isn't it? I'm thinking of. God, it feels like that's only really just happened, but I know it kind of has. The mainline 4 has only really just happened, but obviously we've had the leaked listings for so long that I feel like we've known about 2 other waves of it for ages. Do you know what I mean? So like it doesn't feel as though it's just been the one change very recently, which it has. And that's effectively what my brain is trying to correct there. So I don't know. Maybe they'll go with the standard 3. We actually haven't received any information yet. Just throwing that out there. So send it this direction if you get it. Just kidding. So I think Oh yeah, there was that. It wasn't Wolfpack though, was it? It was Special Forces all black, and it was effectively Night Force Outback again, wasn't it? That one. That wasn't the Wolf Squad. Um, I want to say that the what was it? The blue bazooka and Dusty was supposed to be Tiger Force. I do know that. That's been explained in multiple Hasbro panels at JoeCon and stuff like that. But in terms of Outback and Falcon, that was just that was just the let's keep the deco to just all black. Oh, that was such a weird time. Such a weird time. Anywho, Nightforce Falcon, only if we get a new head. Nightforce Outback is a possibility because obviously we've had him twice already. I don't see that as a problem, and also don't see it as a um it's been a while. It's been a while since we had regular Outback. So I'm cool with it. I don't know what you guys think. I think it'd be wicked. I'd love a Nightforce Outback. Anywho, yeah, convention exclusive zombie fighter Outback, Rachel. Okay, now you're really trying to I mean, it's hardly a repaint. You'd have to use Snowjob's head, wouldn't you, with the goggles and the hood up? You'd have to there'd be a retool going on there. It wouldn't just be a straight repaint. I like your thinking. I like that you tried to trip me up and that I've fallen straight on my face. Outback with Nightforce Trouble Bubble for 34.99 because the price of those keeps dropping. That would be so funny, Ryan. Oh, great. Nightforce Outback now with Pet. Dingo. Oh, Tristan, I'd be down. I'd be down for that. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the other comments. It did appear as if I broke and just started, I just kind of broke. Whenever we get someone with a pet animal figure, Hasbro kills it. Do you mean does really well, or they literally kill the animal, Austin? I'm still hoping Walmart does Sky Patrol, says Suk. Oh, Sky Patrol actually would be so cool because you could squeeze out a couple of small a shark, a chromed shark would be amazing. Oh my god, that would be dope. Obviously, the Havoc might be a stretch. Might have to be a Sky Havoc. Might have to be the next HasLab. Anyway, I always thought Sci-Fi would look good in Nightforce Deco. Well, Toy Bounty Hunter, look at his what was that version of Sci-Fi in the Battle Core where he's got that kind of like laser bazooka and looks a bit like Mace from Cops. That's in fact that just feels like a Nightforce version for me. But I know what you're saying. I know it's not, it's a redeco, so it's not a redeco. So I know what you mean. And I think, yeah, that particular Sci-Fi, the first version would be amazing in some sort of, sexy dark kind of color combination. I feel like the upcoming 2-pack Marauders, 2-pack Tiger Force are setting a precedent for a 2-pack Night Force. McMurphy, I have to say that isn't a bad shout, is it? I mean, if everyone else is doing it, and that seems to be the case right now, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it, if they all kind of like married up and did a 2-pack for Walmart? It's not a bad shout, actually. I like your thinking. I really do. Dino Hunter low light, please. I did a Dino Hunter low light custom ages ago. I loved it. It's one of my favorites. I did that in Ambush as Dino Hunter deco. It's like the 4-inch Ambush and the 4-inch like Pursuit of Cobra. It was the FSS Ambush and the Pursuit of Cobra low light. And I did do you remember the oh god, what vamp mark was it? It was the Ninja Combat Cruiser one, I think. I changed that as well, painted a different element of that to make it look like the Desert Fox, but the one from the Dino Hunter set. It's fun. I really enjoyed that. Why don't they give Falcon Duke's head and paint the hair black? They're never going to do that, Benedict. Then they won't use the same head for a different character. My inner 5-year-old would love Modern Dino Force. My outer 40, what year is it? 3-year-old? Yeah, my outer 43-year-old would love Modern Dino Force, Tristan. I forgot how old I was. That happens a lot. I just don't keep track of it. I haven't kept track of it since about 25. I just thought they were numbers after that. I just wasn't paying attention. And now all of a sudden that was like almost 20 years ago. So I haven't been counting for a while. Anywho, yeah, the 91 Sci-Fi, Ryan. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I just hope the pet is a polar bear. That'd be wicked killer. That would be so. I'd love a polar bear. Or a regular bear would be freaking cool. I mean, there's so many animals. I just want to do an animal line, really. I don't really care about the classified figures. All I care about are the animals. Glenda is using Scarlett's new head. She's not though. She's not though. Is she? It's not the same. Anyway, moving on to 89, and we've got, because I'm like, again, like Psych Out and Sneak Peek. Again, they would be pre-paints and they'd be brought into the line, and we'd hopefully see them in the future. Again, Psych Out, 100%. You've got Night Force, Tiger Force, regular again for Psych Out, because the European Tiger Force, and Sneak Peek. You've got loads for him. You've got Tiger Force again. You've got regular Night Force. I mean, it's nuts. So those two, I think, are primed for the classified series, because again, you could just go absolutely crazy, underpant banana crazy pants. I couldn't think of any other words, and really go to town on those. Wolf Spider isn't a head sculpt though, is it? Really? I mean, it is and it isn't. It's a balaclava. I know you guys are trying to, like, what's the word? Like, trip me up in what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is not. It's not trick questions, or it's not like I'm not trying to trick you. What I'm saying is they're not going to use Duke's head for Falcon, are they? Who agrees that they're going to use Duke's head for Falcon? Should we just end the conversation there? Because they're not, are they, at all? But they are going to reuse a balaclava head for multiple figures, because why would you make another balaclava head? They've done it. They've done different ones for like Beachhead and Shockwave and stuff like that. But if they're not going to they'll reuse one every now and again. But like, in terms of a head sculpt of somebody's face and hair, they're not going to reuse. They don't do it. They just don't do it. End of conversation. Now, 1989. This is where it gets really crazy, because all of these guys are, apart from Shockwave, are gonna be new. And again, it would be pre-paint jobs. And again, I'd be all over it. So let's get Shockwave out of the way first, because funnily enough, Shockwave was one of those ones that we got a what's the word? We got a information saying that there was going to be a Night Force 2-pack. This was ages ago, for Shadow Tracker and Night Force Shockwave. And so we were like, really? That doesn't sound right. And then obviously those images leaked where it was Shadow Tracker and Wolf Spider. And I remember looking at that and going, oh, I see what's happened. There's been a misidentification here. So this was a long time ago. This was like almost the beginning of last year, I want to say. It was a long time ago. And when we got that information, we were kind of like, no, that doesn't sound right. That just doesn't sound like it's vibing. And there was no precedent for it. And then obviously all those other 2-pack things started kind of appearing, and we're like, oh, but at the time we just did not think that was the case. And then obviously Wolf Spider turns up, and we're like, okay, that's what's happened. So I think Night Force Shockwave though has to be on the cards at some point, and if not this time around, maybe on the next Walmart con, because I feel like, I know we've just had Shockwave, but it seems like he would be a perfect addition. Repaint job, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that one, I would say, Shockwave is definitely on the cards. I would have to say. The others, though, this would all be pre-paint territory, and I don't know how far they're going to go. I don't know how deep they're going to go on this line. I don't know how many more kind of figures they're going to do with Walmart for the Night Force theme. Will they, especially if they keep doing new stuff for it and have their own like kind of ideas for it? Freestyle was Night Force from the club, was she not? I'd love to see her sooner than later. Yes, Freestyle is a great shout. I mean, you've got like Chuckles, Freestyle, Lady J, um, Steeler. Um, you've got loads of other kind of like later, additions to the Night Force that you could definitely throw in. I just kind of kept it to the OGs to talk about the OG guys from 88 and 89 for this episode. But who knows what we're going to be talking about on the 7th of March, because obviously they'll be revealed at that point, and then yeah, Abraham Lincoln. So Charbroil would be a complete pre-paint. You get like 2 out of him, I'd say, the regular in this one. Lightfoot, obviously, that is. I mean, I could see them doing Charbroil at a stretch, because we don't have a lot of flamethrower guys. Maybe they wouldn't, because it would be too violent. I don't know. Like the whole. I don't know. I don't think Charbroil's off the table. Honestly, I think I could see them doing Charbroil. Honestly, if we've got Bloomin' Torch, then we're gonna have Char. What am I talking about? Of course, we'll have Charbroil. Anyway, ignore that. Charbroil, right? I could see them doing him. Anti-venom Charbroil. Good shout, Jeremy. I don't know really how many people want some of these like later 6-pack kind of repaints, especially when like I think, like, in terms of Charbroil personally, and I think for like the fandom, I think most people would just be happy with the regular version, and I think most people would be cool with that. But the fact that you've got this option to do the Night Force version as well would be great. And yeah, anti-venom, sure, throw it in there. Charbroil design wise seems like a perfect fit for the classified aesthetic. You've got a good point there, actually, Paul. Yeah, like the helmet's kind of cool and a little bit like insect like. There's a lot of kind of like armor, but like futuristic looking armor and gear and stuff. Yeah, he's definitely got definitely a lot of interesting things. I would say in the same vein, though, I'd say Lightfoot's got some like classified. Imagine the friggin' accessories for Lightfoot, though. Like, how amazing! That's gonna have to be a figure and pet in the similar way that like Scrap Iron was. And I'm not saying the drone has to be the same size, ridiculous kind of thing, but it would be pretty bonkers. And I think you could do a big chunk in McLeod version 2. Exactly. Yeah. Do you think they'd just give him a McLeod? That would I would honestly, I don't know how I'd feel about that. There's so mixed emotions there, because I love Lightfoot and I love the drone and I love the Night Force version. I'd be 100% down for it. And I think it would be a freaking awesome figure. I think it would be an absolutely awesome figure. So, the helmet removable, like lenses, red lenses, the, like the lenticular stuff, they'd probably yeah, diagnostic 80 drone, yeah. They'd probably make the engine parts, though, like 3D as opposed to lenticular. So you'd probably have like a actually sculpted engine parts in the backpack and in the drone. But think of all the cool things, the way that his like, remote would attach to the backpack on like a, on a weird flat hose sort of thing. And then of course the drone, it would just be so good. I would be I'd be there all day long. And then of course it's a pre-paint for the regular version. Who doesn't want Captain Bright Yellow with blue bits and red bits and green bits and blue bits and red bits and green bits and lenticular? Yeah, it would be amazing. Absolutely incredible. I think we're going to get them all. I'm just whining, lol. Oh, is that for the Footloose, Lifeline, and Wetsuit? Yeah, those are definitely on. I mean, they're major characters. They're major figures, in my opinion. They're so. I mean, Footloose was huge in the cartoon. Lifeline as well, and Wetsuit. They're all huge Sunbow characters. So you can't really avoid them, honestly. I love Lightfoot, but I was never into his brown suit. Jamie Lynn, I kind of like I like the UPS Lightfoot. I think he's really good. Anyway, we need McDonald's Force Blowtorch. Yeah, nice. It is a bit, isn't it? I don't think they avoid flame flows considering torch in the Nox. Absolutely, Carl. I had a brain fart, definitely. Charbroil will always be my go-to flamethrower over Blowtorch. Blowtorch is another one that I would expect at some point, though. Yeah. No, you're right, Ryan. 100%. I was having a brain fart. I was having a brain fart. I forgot that Torch used a flamethrower. And yeah, it wouldn't make. Yeah, obviously there is a difference between good guys and bad guys, of course. Um, I kind of end up putting. It's weird. Like when I kind of divide, kind of put your kind of figures into like little sub teams. I kind of have like a kind of a little fire team. Barbie. I don't consider necessarily Charbroil as just creating fires as much as just being an expert in it, as well as being a flamethrower. So I feel like him, barbecue, blowtorch, they can all be utilized as fire prevention as well as fire creation. Um, that's how I kind of view that. Anywho, sorry, just just doing the multitasking, which I can't do very well. Yeah, they're not avoiding landmines and they're not going to avoid flamethrowers. Again, that was just me having an absolute brain fart. Sorry. Maybe they'd update the drone to be a flying one. Oh, that would be cool. It'd be cool, but I kind of, I wonder if this would be another good way of having a retro Lightfoot and an updated one. But the problem is, if you do an updated Lightfoot for the Night Force, you don't get Night Force retro. So it would be a difficult one for me. Like, would I be okay with a Night Force Lightfoot that had new updated kind of vibes and a retro Lightfoot that had all the retro stuff and his regular colors? Would I be okay with that? Would I just buy another retro Lightfoot and repaint the drone and the accessories to kind of go with the Night Force one? Probably do that at the end of the day. But this, makes me wonder, if you're going to do Lightfoot, I don't think you're going to be able to do well. Maybe they do a tripwire kind of vibe, is what I mean. Maybe they go tripwire with him, and we get two secondaries. We get different drones. We get different things. We get different stuff, but we get both in the same pack. And then later, we get a Night Force Lightfoot with his retro gear. That would make sense to me, like the exact same way they've done Tripwire and the Tiger Force Tripwire. I think that's the only way you do it with Lightfoot, and maybe you have to give it some time in order to do that. That's probably how I would go about it, honestly, because it's a tried and tested method. We don't obviously know how popular Tiger Force Tripwire is going to be, but in terms of that figure, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's my figure of the year, I think. I think it was. What did I say in the end of the? I can't remember. It's been so long. Anywho, so that's Charbroil, my favorite everything Lightfoot, and of course Shockwave cuts covered. Now we get onto some absolute. I've got to say these three are proper, like, underrated banger characters, like underrated as hell. Repeater is probably like one of those figures that I think when the club did him, and they did him all bulky, and they did him on the bigger body, and they did him as a regular figure, they did him as the Night Force figure. I have to admit, I was blown away, and I was really like, I love the original Repeater figures, but the way the club did them, I was really, really happy with those 4-inch figures. As a classified figure, I think that's just going to be absolutely phenomenal. Right, absolute boss of a figure. Exactly, Loston. Absolute boss of a figure. Removable hat, cover, whatever you want to call it. Removable cover. Backpack, please. He needs a backpack because I've got to carry all that ammo. And then the kind of like steady cam gun. Oh, think of what they could do with that. Like, they could actually make that really freaking cool. Like, they made the one that the club did was really freaking cool. So, like, yeah, like, or the one that the club reutilized. I can't remember what that was used for first. What was it used for first? That Steadicam gun. Do you guys remember? It's been a while. It's been a while. It's the second time I've sung that today. Who was the Steadicam used for before Repeater in the club 4-inch? I'm talking about way back. Who remembers that? Or can search it really quickly, because I can't be bothered. A few years ago, I found Dead Mint, Night Force Repeater, and Muskrat in a $2 bin at a thrift shop. Insane. Wow. Oh, loose though, right? Please tell me they were loose. Night Force Barbecue, says Bobby. That would be amazing, actually, a Night Force Barbecue. But you've got Night Force Charbroil, so they'd be like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing in my clothes?" Anyone? No one remember who that repeater? Oh yes, Iron Grenadier. Thank you, Ed. Pursuit of Cobra Iron Grenadier had the Colonial Marine gun, didn't he? Yes, you're totally right. It was yes, it was the heavy Iron Grenadier Pursuit of Cobra. You're 100% right, Ed. Thank you. It might have been used before that as well, possibly, but no, that could have been the first time. But either way, phenomenal accessory, and I'm just the dreams I've had, because again, like you could make that the kind of connection around his waist to secondary, like a belt secondary, and then like the arm that like moved the gun. Oh, that would be so dope. And you could have it like, how like Vasquez and Drake in the movie, in the Aliens movie, they kind of put it up like that, and it just kind of stays there. Like that'd be so dope. Like just just put it. I don't need it at the moment, so I'm just going to stick it around the back. There you go. It's over there. Kitty said, and then when you need it, yes, please. I'm so down for Repeater, 100%. I think he'd be a phenomenal figure, and I don't care what anyone else says. I think he would be phenomenal. Making me want a Heat Viper again, Scott. A Heat Viper, you're so on point there. Again, Heat Viper is a Heat Viper someone you could see in the Night Force kind of theme, not with Night Force, but with the Cobra team. As like the let's send the Heat. Well, again, Heat Vipers are anti-tank, aren't they? So they're probably not really appropriate for that. I tell you what would be though, incinerators or something like that. Who are flamethrowers other than Torch in Cobra, other than incinerators and red torches? Because I'm thinking of like like the cleanup operation for like the zombie threat or whatever you want to, the dark energon threat. I could imagine them like being like, yeah, let's get the flame thrower on it and just clean the situation up, and just do you know what I mean? Like the kind of when you're getting rid of like bacteria and things like that, the kind of cleansing sort of scenario. I don't know. I could see something like an incinerator or a red torch. Red torch has been the Red Shadows versions, basically. A Night Vulture's flamethrowers, Paul, or are you saying? Sorry, I'm doing multiple things at once and getting confused. You mean Night Vultures as an addition to Night Force theme, aren't you? Yeah, that makes more sense, definitely. Frag Viper is not a bad shout, actually. So yeah, a couple of people said Frag Vipers, Jeremy, Scott, and Jeremy. Yeah, because you could like that would do a cleanup operation as well. Definitely. Yeah. 100. Do you know 111? Says Stanley, and people are saying probably SMS Techno Viper. So Scott says probably the SMS. Yeah, is that because we haven't covered that yet? It hasn't been. Yeah, very likely then. If you think of one of the ones that haven't kind of appeared for a while yet, and yeah, it's probably something like that. Night Force Heat Viper wouldn't be too different from Python Patrol Heat Viper. Actually, that's a good point, Rachel. So I'd rather see Heat Viper regular and then all the different flavors come out. Honestly. Or rather than cleanup team, do a this is what happens after with plague troopers. Yeah, that's cool actually, Carl. Yeah, I mean, any of the plague would make sense, wouldn't they, for this theme? Because again, lots of like dark color, everything is black, isn't it? And it's all like kind of different, kind of like summer, guillotine and Grimskull and Gribbler. I know one of them isn't called Gribbler, but how funny would that be? Seriously. And what would he be? What would she be? Could be a he or a she. What would they be? Fast Blast Viper Deco, please. Oh, was that the all red one? Or all I can't remember what the Fast Blast Viper Deco was. It was in that big set, wasn't it? Was it red? Or was it black? I can't remember. Score me in the comments. Like OMG guys, we need fast food vipers. Yeah, we do. Toxo Vipers 100% makes sense, Scott. 100%. Airtight would make sense. It just Night Force him and stick him in this because he kind of needs to be there. It's a Dark Energon stuff, guys. You know, black and grey or red and gold. Yes. Oh, so they were both. Oh, did we? I suppose we did get both. So I was right on both counts. That's probably why I was confused as to which one it was. BJ Outlet was red and gold. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It was Gribbler, so it was two B's, but Grippler is a different character, Loston. Yeah. They use their thighs in a squeezing motion. Crimson Shadow Guard and the Night Stalkers. Rachel, you're talking my language. I think that's a good shout, actually. Which is funny because we've had a Crimson Alley Viper, and then we'd have a Crimson Shadow Guard, and it would be black. That's so hilarious to me. Mole Rats has to be planned as a base body for airtight. I think you got a good point there, Ed. I think there's a lot of airtight in there, and I would say that you're probably right. But would airtight's probably just going to be, that would just be like a pre-use for his regular version that wouldn't appear in the Night Force theme. But it'd be cool if they did a Night Force version because I think he'd look dope in like brown, black, green, or whatever. I think that'd be really cool. Giojo classified Grimace. Brilliant. Gribbler does sound even funnier, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah. So Repeater, phenomenal. Let's move on to Muskrat because I think Muskrat's a good shout too. Although, in terms of like his specialty, I don't see it necessarily working with this current theme. Not to say he's not going to happen, because I think Muskrat, obviously, again, regular version, Night Force version, I think he needs to happen. But, you know, when you think about what they're doing at the moment with the Dark Energon, and then you're just going to get a Swamp Fighter turn up with a sleeveless kind of vibe, a boonie hat, and a shotgun, just kind of giving it some. Like, I don't know. I'd love to see Muskrat 100%, but I think maybe regular mainline first, and then see if it makes sense to bring him into the Night Force later down the line, possibly. I don't know. I could be way off base there. And I am a Muskrat fan, don't get me wrong. I loved the figure as a kid. Oh my God. The boogie board was the best. And obviously he would come with some cool accessories. You'd have a boogie board that would also be a backpack. You'd have a shotgun, a knife, probably a pistol or 12, secondary jobs. And of course, your removable hat. And of course, I think he'd be really cool. I really do. I think he'd be an awesome figure, and not too difficult either to really kind of pull out of the bag. If Shockwave can swat on a beach, Muskrat can swamp in the dark, is probably the greatest comment I've ever seen in the comments ever from Ed there. Ed, you win comment of the stream today. If Shockwave can swat on a beach, Muskrat can swamp in the dark. I need that on a t-shirt, man. And I need Night Force Shockwave on the front and Muskrat on Night Force Muskrat on the back, or both on the front. Who cares? You know, it's whatever you want it to be. That's the funniest comment ever. Who's a foil for Shadow Tracker a bit? I've missed something, haven't I? I've missed something. What was said before? Anyway. Anywho, yeah. So I'm really down. Muskrat. Muskrat is sort of a foil for. Oh, I see what you mean. Of course, yeah. That would, yeah. Sort of like, yeah. You kind of. I always see it as like Outback versus Shadow Tracker, but I get what you mean in terms of the kind of like the kind of tracking survival type in the swamp, in the jungle sort of vibe. Yeah, no, that actually makes sense, Paul. So maybe Ed takes a bow. Maybe that is a great opportunity. Yeah, that's a good. You've convinced me just by saying that, Paul. Honestly, it just makes sense because Shadow Tracker's in there. So yeah, you're right. Nike Club Force slogan: "Swamp in the dark." There you go, Ryan. I like it. We're gonna have to put this on a t-shirt. You just, I'm gonna forget. Just always say that comment, Ed, please. Copy it now, paste it, and then just keep copying that into every comment you make in every video, just so that I remember it. Amazing, absolutely hilarious. In fact, I'm taking a screenshot of that comment now so I don't forget it, because that's the funniest thing I've ever read out on the channel. In actual fact, it's so good. It's so good. I'm doing this. There it is. It's going to be fused into the recording now, so I can never forget it. I just have to come back to the hour's timestamp and see this. If Shockwave can swat on a beach, Muskrat can swamp in the dark. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, um, let's talk Spearhead and Max before we bring this to a close, because again, figure pet. This is probably the only one, right? I think in the whole, well, apart from Lightfoot, lols. But yeah, I think Spearhead and Max is a huge possibility based on their, not, I wouldn't say fetish, but their almost necessity to do pets like as many as possible all the time. Will Night Force Max get a different name like Clyde Porkbelly? Good. That again, I like your questions, Rachel. They're always very thoughtful. There's always a very deep thought process in here that I would never really think about. But the fact that we've got that Marauders spirit now with Niol, as in of the wind. Yeah, I maybe they do that. Maybe it's Spearhead and Max in the regular version, and Spearhead and Dax. It's Max and Dax. What would the name be? Give me a good name. Todd. Not sure on that one, Ryan. Spearhead and Fuzzy Tummy. I like that, McMurphy. That's a good one. We'll vote on some of these, I think. Spearhead and Sax. Mia Head and Sax is what I would say there, Paul. Rupert. I quite like that one. Still wondering if Junk is going to be renamed for Mad Marauders. That's a good shout as well, Scott, actually. I mean, it's the same question, isn't it, really? Spearhead and Bob. Oh, Jamie Lynn's got a great idea. Yes, Sam. Sam's a great idea because of Sam and Max. The 90s behemoth that was animation, computer games, and now a wonderful boss fight studio toy line. Yeah, Sam and Max, 100%. I actually really like that. I think Sam's a great. I think Sam makes sense. I think it's a great one to have Sam and Max as these two cats. I love it. I genuinely love that idea, Jamie Lynn. That is phenomenal. Shout out to Jamie Lynn. Jamie Lynn has won the naming contest. Guys, you can stop putting them in now, but I did enjoy that period of time in the comments. That was a lot of fun. Brian said Spearhead and Destro just to be confusing. Hilarious. No, I love that. I think that's brilliant. So yeah, Jamie Lynn wins with Sam. Love it. Absolutely love that. And yeah, like again, Sam and Max, the whole kind of combination of yeah, perfect. Even if it's not Sam, it's Sam, says Scott. Yeah, done. Okay, so Spearhead and Sam for the Night Force, I think would be amazing. And yeah, I think like that whole idea of renaming the animals when they get like a redeco. I know Timber didn't get that, but it was almost like it's almost like he has name like Snake Eyes has named multiple wolves Timber, so you can kind of get over that. Plus, Timber has been a white wolf in the version 2 figure, and he's been a grey one in the cartoon and the comics and so on. So yeah, so I get it. I understand that. That's fine. Like Timber transcends that because he's had multiple versions. But yeah, and Max, I don't know what they would do, but it would have to be he'd have to be black, and he'd have to be called Sam now. Brilliant. Spearhead and Kangor. Oh, Benedict, I love it. I like Sam better than the idea that Spearhead dyed his pet's fur for the sub team. I know, that's what I always say. It's like you're in the Night Force now. So he grabbed his cat and dunked it in dye. My meta view of Norgahide's renaming of Clyde was that Clyde probably didn't live 30 plus years, so he had to get a new fur baby. So Jamelin's SM fits perfectly. Rest in peace, Max. Oh, no, McMurphy, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you for why. Clyde was never actually the boar's real name. Like, that was a almost act like it was a weird addition when they had to rename Norgahide. And what I think happened was that a bit of confusion kind of stepped in, and or somebody just decided to change the wiki page, because the wiki page was changed to say that Clyde is the name of his warthog, right? And with no previous other than the name Clyde Norhide on his actual figure name changing, there was no precedent for it prior. And then all of a sudden, it was like they were taking from the wiki to do the battlegrounds cards, to do, and then they did two of those, and then he was called Clyde in the Tom Scioli comic. So you get these well, they are official kind of GI Joe things where they took the name Clyde and put it on the Warthogs, as his name, even though it wasn't technically that. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of a weird way of it happening, and then obviously that happens, and then it kind of like almost got adopted a little bit, but we didn't have another Norgahide until the classified one, and they decided to go against that and just let's just rename it, because it was never really given a vintage name in the vintage line. So it's really interesting that this weird thing happened, and I don't know if I mean, I think the answer will come out at some point as to how that happened, who changed it, why it was changed on the wiki page, and then it was funny because the wiki page was changed, and then everything from then on just was taking from the wiki page because they didn't have any other reference for it. Anyway, it was interesting and weird. It'd be funny if he named his cat Baroness. Spearhead and Baroness. Wasn't Fiona a technical rename? Fiona technically was a new name for a figure, or a vintage figure that didn't have a name previously. And I don't think they didn't name the croc for the modern 4-inch line. We did see that he had names for his crocodiles in comics. So there are a number of different comics where the Crocmaster would refer to his crocodiles as different female names, and I don't think he used Fiona, and I don't know where Fiona came from, honestly. They have talked about that, haven't they? But anyway, technically that was a rename, Scott. Yeah, but it wasn't in a sense. It was a given. They were giving her a name in a sense. Same with Diablo and Georgie as well. They were added in. I love those. I think that's so cute. Clyde was Clint Eastwood's companion chimpanzee's name in Every Which Way, but loose. Wouldn't be surprised if it came from there. Of course, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, and well, we know that Clyde came from their renaming of Norgahide, because they didn't want to get. Okay, so Clyde came about because they didn't want to get sued for the name Norgahide, or they were trying to avoid any legal issues with the American leather company of the same name but different spelling. Now, what they did was, for that figure, is they called him Clyde Norhide, so it kind of had this little weird rhyming scheme. He gave him like a full name, and they threw Nor in there, and they had his surname as Hyde to make it sound like Norgahide still. So that was their planning on that one. Clyde, I think, was used because it rhymed with Hyde, and I think that's all that really kind of came from, really. So that was the basis of Clyde being incorporated into that, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Anyway, this isn't Let's Talk Classified Norgahide. I've done that already. Fiona from Shrek. That's not a bad shout, actually. Maybe it was. Mutton Graveyard for Mad Marauders. Wow, Rogue, that's dark, isn't it? Mutton Graveyard. I like it, though, actually. That's pretty dope, too. That is pretty dope, too. Calling your dog Graveyard. But again, because it's Night Force, and like, yeah, a little bit kind of more. Oh, well, it's not Night Force, is it? It's Mad Marauders, what we're talking about. Although Mad Marauders has got that kind of like, it's darker deco. Is it, though? I mean, yeah. It is a little bit. Apart from the bright blue bit and the light green bit. But yeah, no, I like actually, I quite like that, the mutton graveyard. I think that's pretty cool, honestly. Um, I'd call him Dr. Bratwurst. Brilliant. Well, I mean, a poacher giving an animal he actually keeps alive by calling the animal by a butcher cut. I know, that's pretty dark actually, isn't it? I need a sweet Night Force shirt, says Benedict. Yeah, me, you and me both. I really wish I'd gone ham on those Hot Topic logo designs and stuff, but I don't think they did a Night Force one, did they? It was everything but like Night Force. Missed opportunity to name the monkey Furious, George. I think the monkey should have been. I think the monkey should have gone with Zanzibar, personally. And I think if and when they do a figure vehicle Zanzibar in his air skiff, which has to happen. I mean, Zanzibar would be perfect for classified, and you get a vehicle out of it too. Then I would probably be taking Eye Patch Yobbo, and I'd be giving him to Zanzibar because I think that would work so perfectly. Mutton Order. Graveyard's amazing, isn't it? As a name, I really like that too. There's been some absolutely stellar options so far. So I've got the glow in the dark hit and run Joe Club shirt. Oh, that's wicked, Matt. That's like a Night Force shirt. Yeah, that's awesome. I know a lot of guys that have got the Night Force logo on a t-shirt. I think that came out of Joe Customs, maybe, and for like Joe Cons when they would all go and have the same shirts and stuff. And I think that glows in the dark. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? I mean, Hasbro would be really, it would be really cool if they were to release a Night Force T-shirt for Hasbro Pulse that glows in the dark with the Night Force logo. If they've got the logo, it's on the boxes, for goodness sake. Do the hippie hippie shake. I don't have any boxes near me, but yeah, that would be great. That would be so cool. And like do a Tiger Force one with the Tiger Force logo. Do an orange Tiger Force one for Outback. Do the new one with the logo and like put some stripes on the back and Bob's your uncle. Stick that on Pulse. They'll sell out. Sell out immediately. Chris, that's genius. If when we get Zanzibar, I'll be doing that too. Already bought a Schleich meerkat to go with pork belly. That's adorable. Still could get a monkey with Zanzibar and parrot. Yeah, just repaint them, stick them both with him. Done. Actually, that's genius, Scott. Actually, yeah, a parrot and a monkey for Zanzibar, please and thank you. I also need an official Outback type. There you go, Benedict just said it. Well, I think yeah, you probably posted that as I was talking about it. McMurphy says, embarrassing story. Mutton Junkyard was my first Joe figure in 1984. Yes, I'm old. And we all are, mate. And I always thought the human was named Junkyard Dog and the dog was named Mutt. I know, I'll see myself out. That's honestly, I've done dumber things than that, mate. I thought for ages, I've said them on here before. The Heat Viper, I thought was a blooming flamethrower for the longest, for like legitimately the entire vintage era, probably all the way until I had to do some research on what Heat Viper's file card said or something, and then I went, oh, hang on, it's high explosive anti-tank. How did I miss that? The whole time I thought you had a giant flamethrower. Genuinely, for the longest, like it had to be into my 30s, honest, or my late 20s. Anyway, I'm Mutt. He's Junkyard. We tried it the other way, but it didn't work. Anyway, brilliant stuff. And that was a purposeful joke, utilizing a quote from Law, not a quote from Law and Order, because it was just from Law from the movie, based on a Mutton Junkyard switch around story. Anyway, I think that's it for today. I think we've had enough internet for today, guys. This was only supposed to be a quickie, wasn't it? And we've done an hour and a quarter. I'm the worst. Right, let's do this. You can tell I'm getting tired when I can't even finish sentences. Yeah, the transition is what I was getting at. Right, it's been a I saw that comment, Ed. How dare you? The original G.I. Joe Nintendo game used Heat Vipers as flamethrowers. Jeff, that's awesome, but I never played it until later on. So I didn't even have the in fact, hang on, did they use them in the arcade game as flamethrowers as well? I feel like Heat Vipers were in the what do you call it? The arcade game. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've played that multiple times, so maybe I could have used that as an example or as an excuse, but no, I couldn't really. Um, anyway, anyway, yeah, I'm surprised. But, I do like they've obviously been doing a lot of shirts on Hasbro polls. So I just saw a comment from Jamie Lynn saying Tiger Force, Night Force, Mars, Dreadnoks, Cold Slither, Saturn, Honolulu West, sorry, Trucking, Extensive Enterprises, etc. Give me all the shirts. I'm with you on that. And I'm surprised that Hasbro Pulse don't, or like the Joe team don't jump on that a little bit more and do more specialized like Night Force, Tiger Force, Python Patrol t-shirts. Because I'm telling you now, they would sell out. What did you think the shells on the ankles were? Just shells? Just, extra? Because I'm an idiot, Scott. I genuinely thought it was a flamethrower and maybe they were like ammo for the flames. I don't know. You can have, it's like saying, what do you think the grenades were for on Lightfoot? Well, probably for slugging at people. And he basically, diffused bombs, but he had some grenades to chuck at will. So, it's like that, isn't it? It's like, I just thought they were additional things. I don't know why I don't know why I'm trying to justify my ridiculousness. It was a terrible take that I should never have thought if I'd have just read the file card for 5 seconds, or just like you said, identify the fact he's wearing shells on his ankles, you moron. Yeah, I'm talking to myself, by the way. I'm the moron here. Yojo June t-shirts could happen. I hope so. I hope so. Night Scrambler sounds like a late night egg based fast food. It does, doesn't it? Actually, I'd be up for that. What are the 3 seashells for? Night Force Outback Survival shirt in grey. How good would that be? Or just one in white? Come on, both, all, every sell out. They would sell out. They would. That bazooka on Heat Viper does look like a flamethrower. Don't even try, Jeremy, to justify my idiocy. I was a fool, and I completely accept it. I thought the same, Chris. I mean, until I read the card. See. Big question, says Flaffle. Which figures will look best with Metalhead's mullet on? Snake Eyes Shooter, Shipwreck Zartan, Zarana. I'm going to put my hairpiece on Gung Ho. I think that'd be the best one I think he'd look hilarious with that. Outback shirts only available 2 sizes too small. I like that too. Because yeah. When is Covergirl going to retro with the blonde hair and new face sculpt, do you think? Blake, good question. I genuinely think that's a possibility at some point. I think it'd be great, actually. I'd love that. I'd be well into that. Although we do know what the next, let's see, we know the next 6, I think. So it's going to be probably into 2025. So to give you, if it was like, let's say, the next 3 retro figures, right? Then it would probably be 2025. Like if it was going to be the next 3, like those retro AN, Pinky Brain and Elmira, for example. If one of those is Covergirl with blonde hair, then you're looking at the start of 2025, basically. But if but it might not, it might be completely different. They might go with something else, and then you'd be looking at the back end of 2025, possibly 20. So it's still going to be quite a ways off, possibly, or it might be as soon as early 2025. Is the only answer I could probably give you, basically, on that one, because I don't know. I do like that comment about Outback t-shirts being 2 sizes too small, because he does wear them tight, but he can because he's absolutely rizipped. Anyway, I've had a blast. It's been fun. I've had a burst, technically. Sorry, wet nose now, like a dog. Obviously we've got loads coming actually. The next couple of days are going to be ridiculous. Tomorrow somehow I'm doing a monthly live with Mark Seddon of Talking Joe. That's going to be happening at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be dropping that tomorrow. It'll be live, so you can join us at any point. We can just be talking about the Skybound comics, basically, and how we've enjoyed them so far, talking about the artwork, talking about the covers, talking about either storyline and all that kind of stuff. We're just getting into it. There'll be a lot of spoilers, but we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Now, also, there's going to be the live reactions on Thursday. There's going to be on probably leaks tomorrow as well, so I'll probably have to do a news burst in the evening as well. I mean, that always happens, doesn't it? We always get leaks at some point. So I'll probably be doing bursts left, right, and center tomorrow. There'll be a monthly one on tomorrow at 2 live, and then there'll probably be something later in the evening if we get some leaks. It just is what it is, isn't it? If it's too late, if it's really late, I'll just carry it over and do it, and I'll just do the reactions, okay? But Murphy, thank you very much. I'll come back to that in a second, but thank you so much. I will finish what I'm saying. Then on Friday, I'm interviewing Brian Flynn, Super 7, and Pat and I are doing a weekly. Don't ask me how yet, because I haven't spoken to Pat about the possible time change. But we will see. We'll work it out. Yada, yada, yada. I do have to really prioritize that Brian Flynn interview, though. So that will be recorded, and then we'll be editing it, and then you'll get it probably over the weekend. All right? Okay? Coolsies. McMurphy, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate the very generous super chat. Thanks for keeping our week interesting, Chris. Keep it coming. Full force. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate it. Amazing stuff. Right, it's been great. I've had a burst. Stay fresh, cheese bags. See you tomorrow in a few hours. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. Uno, dos, tres. Full force. I was going to do like whatever full force was in a different language. No, I don't know what it is. So we'd have been here for hours. And see ya. That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.